Chapter 81. Sebastian, 7. Ravens scatter from the rooftops as our boots hammer the cobbles, echoing in these constricted alleys. Chom is the slowest, his breathing ragged, but Jean holds back too, staying just behind me despite how easily he could sprint ahead. I hate the weakness in my legs, in my whole body. My entire body feels infected with fever, sluggish, and hot. Running with only one arm feels grotesque. My balance is ruined, every step tipping me slightly to the right. But it doesn't take long, only half a minute at most, and we see the blue ahead of us, the one who took the boy. He's fat, his stomach looks like it's fighting to break free of his belt, sweat darkening his shirt. We slow, waiting for the right moment, stalking him through the murky light. Then he drags the boy into an alley. The boy whimpers as the man forces him down, fingers raking through greasy, receding hair. "We're gonna have some fun, boyo," he says with a grin, showing teeth like cracked porcelain. That grin doesn't last. Jean crashes into him from the side, smashing the fat man's skull against the bricks. There's a wet crack, no hesitation. Jean kicks him in the face so hard his nose implodes. I stay at the mouth of the alley, watching for witnesses. My stump pulses with pain in time with my racing heart. I taste blood, though it's not mine, the memory of it filling my mouth. Sweetness and copper. I can feel the blue's blood. Hear it. It calls to me, pulsing wet and bright from his shattered nose, the side of his split scalp. I want it. I want it so badly. But I force myself to keep looking out, teeth grinding. Jean doesn't stop. He smashes the blue against the wall again and again. The bricks tremble. Chom holds the half-naked boy, whispering something, helping him stay on his feet. But Jean fights like a demon unleashed. There's no strategy, no finesse, just raw, animal violence. And we all know, even the raven perched on a gutter above us knows. The blue is dead. It takes Jean over 30 heartbeats to realize it. Even then, he doesn't stop immediately. His fists keep rising and falling, pounding the man's face into a pulp the color and consistency of mashed blueberries. Blood oozes from between his fingers, thick and glistening, almost beautiful. My vision swims red, my own eyes glow, so do Chom's. I want to drink it. But I don't. I watch Jean's brow furrow, watch his breath rasp like a broken bellows. His mouth is twisted in something like a grin, but I know that expression. I've seen it on my face. It's not joy, it's the death of joy. It's the grin of someone who's lost everything. Ren's face burns in my memory, pale and bloodied, eyes staring through me. I let my madness recede, forcing the glow in my eyes to dull back to a mild blue, a lie, a disguise over the rage snarling in my guts. We leave the corpse where it fell, cooling in the gutter, shadows swallowing what's left of it. I step up to Jean and pat his shoulder. He flinches but doesn't shrug me off. I glance past him at the boy in Chom's arms. He's crying, soft and broken. Chom holds him carefully, murmuring quiet comforts in a voice gone hoarse. One heartbeat, one breath, one step forward. Then I hear it, that croaking voice, something only I can hear. Golden Reaper. I whip my head around. The others keep moving, oblivious. My pulse spikes. Golden Reaper, my virtual library empire * appreciates your readership at the source. This time it's a scream in my skull. Then, silence. I stand frozen, thinking about the visions. About the way I've found myself inside other people, forced to see through their eyes, walk paths I'd never choose. Forced to say things I didn't know, thinking about things that weren't mine. Who am I? Why did I eat that finger? What was that place I saw, awash in impossible colors and blood like molten gold? Sebastian, me, Golden Reaper, me, why was I Aston and not dead after the attack of the green-blooded? What did I do to deserve this? My arm throbs like a living thing. I flex the stump uselessly, watching Chom and Jean lead the boy ahead of me. My steps fall in behind them automatically, like a ghost tethered to the living, unseen and unacknowledged. Chapter 82. Harbor 1. Ericsson's paw. A true smile cannot be faked, even not by my kind. Ericsson Leonard. I walk across the harbor, seagulls circling above me, their feathers impossibly white against the bruised sky. The girl is not with me. She's hidden beneath the golden headquarters, deep in the underground, shielded by those I trust, comrades who once stood beside me in the great fall of Empire Delora. I run through the plan again. For the dozenth time, it cycles in my mind like an obsession. I still struggle to believe what Harmon has achieved during the years I've been gone. They want to evacuate the Reds, people who should have been sold into chains, bound for Elysia or, worse, the continent of death. Some were meant to be shipped to the front lines of the Imperial Wars, where false gods clash with the burned violets, those brave souls defying monstrous divine technology. I exhale under the salty air. The stench of rotting fish and dying Reds clings to the breeze, seeping into my lungs. I can hear the screams in the distance. I feel them. Their blood is soaked into the soles of my boots. We've boarded countless galleons, half our unit spread across the vessels, the rest scattered across the dock. The plan is simple. Extract the Reds, lure them to an island where they might start anew, free from fear, free from chains. I feel a smile curling onto my lips, subtle, almost an echo of something I once remembered as joy. It wears the face of the man I killed just days ago, the noble mask I now inhabit. I don't call her my daughter anymore. I am not so selfish. But I do not know her real name either. I haven't had the courage to ask. Some weight, some guilt, presses on my chest each time I look at her. Why do I even feel so drawn to her? It's all a lie, but one I feel harbored. The smile widens, uninvited, as if it's something I was never meant to feel again, something stolen from me a century ago. And it had been stolen. That much is certain. New wage is coming. A man roars from the docks, his voice rough as sandpaper, beard thicker than his forearm. His skin, arms and face both, has turned a deep sea blue under the unforgiving sun. Like the others here, I've been sent to speak with the galleon workers. The groundwork's been laid, eyes have already been on them. My task is simpler now: flash the gold, show them the profit they'll earn if they follow Harmon's plan. Just enough of a promise to light a fire under their boots. And yet, every time I do it, the same question returns: how did Harmon know all this would happen? Did he predict the Reds would be enslaved again? Or is he just well connected enough to make it all look like prophecy? My foot splashes down into blood again, thick, dark, and too familiar. Crimson seeps between the boards of the quay. I look up and catch the blue-skinned dockworker staring at me. The second our eyes meet, he bows his head. Deference, mistaken identity, he thinks I'm nobility, another high-born bastard come to inspect the labor. Lord, he mutters, more question than greeting. This is PARTOFASE RESFROMMY Virtu AL Liber ARIEMPIRE. That makes 15 times today I've been called Lord. I reply with a name I made up an hour ago. Roswand. It sounds legitimate enough, or maybe he's just too scared to question it. He doesn't ask for proof. No blood test, no ID, who would dare, outside the police? And even they hesitate when someone like me looks the part. I give him the gaze, the distant, unreadable one I've seen in mirrors too often. I hate it, maybe because I've perfected it too well. I raise my hand, hold it over his shoulder, but don't touch. My fingers pass through the air like a blessing or a threat. Blood laps over my boots again, just centimeters deep. But how many corpses does it take to create a sea like this? Over 100, at least. The worst part, no one's done a damn thing to stop it. Not even the nobles. You'd think they'd care about the drop in profits. But they don't. Maybe because they've already accounted for the losses, numbers, not people. My fist clenches. Behind a stack of barrels, limbs jut out, torsos, arms, feet. Dumped and forgotten, like waste. I glance upward, toward the sails, expecting nothing, but finding the same bloodstains as always. Then, higher, a corpse sways from a mast, body still mostly intact. Fresh, a day old, maybe two. I force myself to look away and focus. Chapter 83, Harbor 2. Ship number 4287. Christian Meloir. Description: nose sharp like an eagle's beak, nostrils too wide for a face like his. When I spot him, obsidian black hair and a face carved like arrogance, I know it's him. No exaggeration in the records. What kind of mother births a man like that? He notices me, and while his eyes shift, awkward and nervous. The same reaction I've gotten from more than half of them today. Overhead, gulls screech in the wind. More ships creep in from the horizon, dark silhouettes dragging Reds toward hell. Mr. Meloir, I say, adopting the polished, clipped tone of Alicia's upper crust. Still masculine, still commanding, but high-born enough to make men sweat. I comb my fingers through my beard and step closer. Let's speak for a bit. The words stop him cold. He stammers, swallows. What do I owe the pleasure? His smile wavers, hands tremble behind his back. I could knock him over with one kick. A child could. I close the distance, and our faces are a breath apart. He doesn't stink of blood, not visibly tainted. Not yet. I smile, barely. I'm with the order, I say. Let's talk business. The rest of the day drags into repetition. Each hour, I pull out the same small pouch. It fits in my palm, tied tight, filled with rolled golden notes, currency marked with her radiance, Alicia. The Orange Queen of this broken empire. Same currency for over 1,000 years. Every man I show it to stares like he's glimpsed salvation. Over 1,000 in value. Enough to drown in dreams. They all think they'll get it. Maybe some will, but probably not. The thought eats at me as I shake my head, trying to ignore a loaf of bread trampled in the dust, someone's dinner turned to dirt. The sky is still bright, but it won't be for long. I breathe in the harbor air, salt, rot, and fish all blending together. Birds wheel overhead, seagulls, mostly. Doves perch on tiled roofs nearby, cooing like they don't know the world's gone to hell. I drift toward the edge of the market. Vendors shout over each other, pushing fish and meat and fruit with cracked voices and desperate eyes. And for a moment, I almost forget I spent the morning walking through human blood. This has to end. It will end. She must live a life without cannibals in alleyways or rapists in shadows. The thought cuts like glass, and my brows tighten. A knot digs into the space between them. I shove the anger down and move on. More galleons arrive, their decks loaded with reds, skin burning under hot irons, hands tied behind their backs. Suffering disguised as process. But not forever, soon they'll be free. My work is done for today. 41 spoken to, same as the others, more or less. Tomorrow we'll do it again. And again, until Ashton's family finally sets the last wheel in motion. I try not to think about the timeline. A week, maybe more. Right now, I want to think about her. Strange how much I've changed. Just a short while ago, I saw the world as something to survive. Now I want to make it better, for her. A small blue-skinned family passes by. Stoic, eyes blank, except the child, she's beaming. The parents glance at each other, and for just a moment, I catch it, a tiny smile. Real, fleeting, but it lives. It reminds me of something I lost, and something I might gain again. My feet carry me toward a stand at the edge of the market. The old woman working it is trembling. Her skin has the soft purple tone of faded blueberries. Her voice is thin, barely cutting through the noise around her. But her stand is different. This chapter was originally posted on sweets. Not fish, not fruit, not survival. Joy. I step closer. The scent pulls me in, warm, spiced. Fluffy orbs skewered on a thin stick. Brown fading to deep red, then orange at the edges. They remind me of her. Of the girl, of the light she's brought into this rotting world. I reach into my coat, fingers brushing over gold. One skewer of, my voice falters. The old woman finishes for me, smiling kindly. Elena, she says. Yes, that's the name. I hand her a golden note, far too much for the treat. Doesn't matter. Today, I feel like this. As I walk away, the skewer in hand, I catch myself smiling. Not forced, not painted on. A real one, the kind even my kind can't fake. Chapter 84. Setting up the strings. 1. Ashton's Pav. There is no bigger pressure than the expectation of a father. Aston von Rosenthal. I sit on the grass, lungs filled to the brim until the pressure becomes unbearable, until it burns, and then I exhale, letting it all go. My shoulders drop, my neck gives in, and my head lolls forward as if it's finally too heavy to carry the burden any longer. Above me, the leaves shift, a soft rustle under the turquoise sky, shimmering like polished emeralds in the light. This place, my place, is the only one where I allow myself to forget. Forget the sharp tone of reprimands. Forget the constant, silent demand to be better, to perform, to deserve the name I carry. Rosenthal, a name sharp as thorns, as cold as steel. I don't know what I did to deserve being treated as though I didn't belong to it. Or maybe I do, maybe I was simply born last. Maybe that was enough. They see me as one of them, sure, but only in public, only when the illusion must be maintained. Behind closed doors, I am merely tolerated, like a servant who dares to wear his master's clothes. Some days, as I let the damp blades of grass soak into my fingers, I think of the girl who died because of me. A servant, a red, just one among many, my family has sentenced to death without blinking. One life, countless others, banquets where screams were muffled by music, where blood was served like wine. Like pigs, they were slaughtered. I stretch my legs out. The damp earth clings to my clothes. My gaze drifts to a patch of mushrooms clustered near my boot. Truth speakers, they're called. Their toxins don't kill, no, they only ensure that every word spoken after their consumption is honest. A cruel joke of nature. I watch insects flitting from bush to flower, some of these plants rare enough to buy a district, all of them mine. Still, even here, in the only place I feel like a human being, I cannot stay. So I rise, I walk, I head toward the estate, toward those who share my blood but not my heart. A lineage of cruelty held together by power and fear. The grass squelches beneath my steps, dark and still wet from the rains yesterday. My mind wanders to Doran, my nephew. No, on some days, my son. As leaves fall from the tree, whose hair protects me from the sun in the color of my blood, I think of Emma von Jaeger. She still insists on calling from time to time, asking for favors, for attention. Always something shallow. Our relationship was never meant to bear fruit, and yet, all we do when we meet is do adult things. The latest chapters are uploaded first on. For that reason, I hate Lieben the most. Couldn't have done something more beneficial in his free time. But then again, I think of Doran, the boy who was created by the man I've killed, my brother. He's innocent still. There's hope for him, and there are red children in his care now, serving in the villa of Lieben. I'll make sure he treats them as people. That he learns what the older generation refuses to accept. Know what everyone refuses to accept. The blood in our veins doesn't make us better, only more dangerous. We shouldn't watch from above but help on the same level. I walk through the estate's corridors. Daylight floods through high windows, reflecting off marble and oil painting scenes of conquest, still life, nobility frozen in time. Every fourth or fifth is a landscape from some of the other continents, reminders of a world beyond power, even though most painters have never been there themselves. Dunes in vibrant colors of purple, waves of sand flooding the violet desert, from there the name, continent of violet seas. There are machines as big as our estate, and temples beneath the sand, worms being the way beneath the surface. Some are even abstract, mostly surrealism. Then I reach the door. The root of the thorns, I call it. The one who bleeds me without a knife sits beyond, my father. Chapter 85. Setting up the strings, 2. I knock. Enter. The door opens. He's already seated, posture relaxed in a way that dares you to speak out of turn. Beard the color of sand, brows thick, gray threading his hair. He looks like me. It infuriates me. One leg crosses over the other. His hands rest on his knees, still wearing the family coat, despite the heat. The crest of the 3 roses is embroidered proudly on the chest, as it is on mine. Youngest, he says. His voice hasn't changed, cold, measured. Father. My eldest brother stands beside him, silent, gazing out the window at the sea. From here, one can see the galleons. The waves shift, reds traded like cattle. I give him a nod, and he squints slightly but says nothing. My father speaks again. What do we have to hear from you now? His tone drips with irritation, and I want to match it. But I don't. I wear a smile instead. Hollow, practiced. It makes my stomach churn. Regarding the transportation of the Reds, I begin. My thoughts have been simmering since I left the Golden headquarters, nearly a full day's journey, and now they must boil. It is inefficient. My eyes meet his. His gaze is a slab of ice. Blue against blue, but unlike him, I see the sea. Elaborate. He leans forward, so does my brother, turning ever so slightly. The golden moon, I say, beautiful as it is, vast and divine, yes, but it ravages both sea and land. The waves, the floods, we all know what it brings. The continent of death suffers under it, as does the continent of the pigs, Earth. I take a step forward, casting my gaze over his shoulder to the sea. We're playing it safe, too safe. If we truly aim to dominate this continent, if we want to stand above the rest, above the high bloods, then we must act like it. No more drips. We need floods. No more months of waiting for a few. We need masses, and we need them now. My smile stays. My insides rebel. There's risk, of course, but the flood only comes once a week. My acquaintance, reliable, tells me it passed just yesterday. If we act now, we could cut our time in half. Or better. I pace a little, slowly, like a predator circling its prey. We could double our intake. Triple it, even, and if we scale correctly, we could increase revenue 5-fold. 5 times the current income of our family. In less than 2 weeks, we'd be wealthier than the entire royal family. We would have more influence, and we could rule over Zentria, probably even the entirety of Elysia, if we play it smart against the other kingdoms. I catch a slight breath. Never have I spoken this much in front of the cold man who rules over the Rosenmal estate. He eyes me now, and shockingly, he smiles back. For a moment, I believe the world itself has stopped. But then Sebastian interrupts me. What if the flood takes all the ships down? I press my nails into my palms, trying to relax my arms so I don't reveal anything. In the end, I force a confident smile. Then we will take the loss. I meet my father's gaze, cold meeting cold. But if we don't take this chance, I don't believe their highnesses will remain friendly with us. Up until now, perhaps because they saw opportunity and profit, they tolerated us. And though they are oranges, they aren't stupid. They'll eventually realize we're making enough money to wield war ourselves. Now is the time for that realization, especially since nearly none of their kind remain in Elysia. I take another step forward, loosening my fingers. My white palm floods with blood, hot and cold at once. My V at R hashtag 2 hasha. LL $IBRA, RIM plus pi and RE at $. They might start to believe we'll begin forging ties with the false gods, just like in the great fall of Empire Delora. That we might gain enough influence and wealth to buy their higher bloodlines. Sebastian glares at me. My father, on the other hand, nods in agreement, his thick thumb stroking over his beard. So I continue. Before they even start to think of it, before they can retreat, imprison us, fabricate something to take us all down, we should already have it all. We need to strike first. Now is the time for it. Perhaps it's already late, but tomorrow will be too late. Either we sacrifice now, or we lose it all shortly. Chapter 86. Setting up the strings, 3. Then father smirks, a hearty laugh escaping his blue lips under the beard that stands in near contrast to the rest of his being. Good, youngest. Sebastian eyes me coldly. He will never accept me, even though we share the same father. But father's grin continues to widen. It feels alien, to see this cold-blooded man looking at me with wrinkles favoring me in this moment. Aston, good, good. But I clench my teeth. I know it isn't because of me, but because of the opportunity he imagines. The expansion of his influence, his strings, through the suffering of the Reds. Sebastian turns back toward the horizon, where more slaves are being deported under our orders. Then let us take the quick route. Father nearly shouts, grabbing a pen and dipping it into orange ink. Let's do it that way. Read ahead and get updates at. And he starts to write. I step out of the private carriage, one of the 2 that belong to my brother Lieben. I am now nothing more than his living corpse, stolen and alive in his place. Not Aston, but Lieben von Rosenmal. Hair longer, Face sharper, hands behind my back, I stand tall, my feet in dark, bluish boots thudding over the asphalt. I notice the young butler, not Kayl, the old golden retriever-like servant, who originally served me, but another whose name I do not know. He's younger than I, and catching him in my peripheral vision, I casually throw my shirt over his bowed head, while passing with a smile put on. I walk into the estate bought with our family's money, the one Lieben once married to extend our influence. But the wife is long dead, and now I see only my nephew, my son, though the life feels wrong every time I think it. Seeing his downturned face and the way his eyes meet mine, it hurts. But then he winks. Lieben wasn't a good father. It will take more than a few days or weeks before my son begins to like me. The Reds are easier. Doran likes them, somewhat, though he doesn't show it openly. As I walk deeper into the Rosenmall estate, still registered under my father's name since it was never changed to Helene's, I spot them. The 3 children, the girl and the boy who don't share my color, nor Doran's, but still look at me with genuine smiles. Only a few steps in, and even Doran embraces me. It feels odd. I've never experienced anything like this before, especially not from Doran, or from any child, be it as a nephew or as a son. But I crouch and return the embrace, patting him gently. His hair is blonde like mine, though shorter, the longest strand only reaching his brows. Tristan and Ella haven't troubled you, right? I say with a mocking tone, referring to the Red children I deported here. I thought my father would punish me for it, but the middle son is left alone, again. Maybe father wouldn't care if Lieben enslaved a few Red children, went on a rampage in broad daylight, or did some other, even worse things. My lips curl faintly, and I walk off, hearing Doran's shy and timid voice behind me. No. Good, I say. The Red children, now servants in disguise for Doran, receive a quick pat from me as well. I continue walking into the room where letters await, written to Lieben, and therefore now to me. Letters from various trading partners, friends, and other acquaintances. I start to read through them, sighing as my eyes fall on the first one resting on the desk. No other than her. The girl I regret most ever meeting, not because of betrayal, not even because of danger, but because she gave me nothing of value except pleasure. And that, I cannot even enjoy. Emma Yeager. Chapter 87. All man's pride has been lost. 1. Damien's Pav. Appreciation is what I have learned far too late, and I regret it. Damien Stark. How long has it been since they took us, dragged us off our broken world? Since those monsters beat the shit out of us and threw our battered bodies into this airborne nightmare? I don't know anymore. Days blur into one another like blood in water. Time bends here. I sit on wet feathers, soaked through, slick, cold. We all do. Me, Frank, Paula, and the others. Our prison is massive, a steel monstrosity, the size of 2 buses welded together by a sick god. Crude bars line the edges, wide enough for your limbs to dangle out, narrow enough to remind you you're nothing but meat inside a metal box. The feathers beneath us are white, some the size of cars, and sodden with rain, piss, maybe tears. I feel them rubbing against my thighs, slippery and foreign. I can't stretch my legs properly. There's no comfort here, just existence, hunger, and thirst. They gave us nothing. They've told us to drink our own shit and piss. And we did. We hesitated at first, sure. But after the second day, even dignity cracks. By then, it was either die or comply. The first day, we still held on, whispered our farewells to Earth like lovers betrayed. Enjoy the $$ tour Y% by R. Aya and DN plus G on. Asterisk. I still remember the mountain, the dome, that was cracked and still is like an eggshell. That was the last thing I saw of home. Now, all I smell is waste, human rot as some have bitten their tongues up. Their cries were horrifying, silent, and oppressed by the lightning of storms. The broad soldier Frank sits beside me. He is the man who once stood unflinching as an orc slammed him into the dirt. His head hangs now, solemn, almost asleep, but I know he's not. There's nothing left to dream about. He was a warrior, that man. A patriot, a self-proclaimed martyr for the greater good. And now, he stares into nothing, only the abyss of a dark sea beneath a storm of wind and tsunamis, and I wonder, what good was it all for? What greater purpose justifies ending up here, caged, soaked, reeking, worthless? I'm not like him, never was. I'm a coward. I ran, hid, avoided the fight, and yet here I am, beside him, punished just the same. The wind screams through the bars, it howls against my ears, as if being the cries of those who have taken their lives only days ago. Water whips across my face like shards of glass under a pressure hose. It stings. It always does. Across from Frank, 2 people down, sits Paula. Blonde, young, her left arm ends in a stump, hastily wrapped. The cloth is filthy now, brown with old blood, and to be frank, I don't know how she's still alive. We've been flying for days, maybe even more. Across oceans and storms, through clouds so black they bleed. The beast that carries us, the bird, too large to be real. Not for a second in these last days or weeks was it tired. And neither do the creatures that commandeer it. The storm is a living thing. A roaring, unrelenting demon. Water slashes across our faces, but not from the tsunami below us, but the piss of God, if one even exists anymore. Lightning kisses the sky every few seconds. Thunder follows like a second heartbeat. It's not white, that lightning. It pulses gold, shimmering, alive. For a brief second, it paints everything in eerie contrast. The wet metal, the bodies huddled in pain, the feathers, and the fear. My legs dangle outside the cage. The wind pulls at them like they're nothing more than forgotten laundry, but this isn't wind. This is a fucking hurricane, all possible natural catastrophes in one place. It's hell itself. I glance sideways, far right, where the monsters sit. There, just beyond them, I see it. A wall of water. No, a wave, but no wave is that high. Must be hundreds of meters tall. Another tsunami. There's only one explanation for this kind of atmospheric insanity. The moon. It was too close yesterday, and even closer and bigger today. Closer than ever, a giant, veiled in gold, before the clouds swallowed it whole. And now we pay the price. The oceans rebel, the skies split open, storm after storm, the second time since our imprisonment. Chapter 88. All man's pride has been lost too. Everything's blue or black, or some mixture in between. Then comes the flash, and everything goes white again. Zigzagging lines of light shoot downward like divine bullets. Our cage has been hit multiple times by now, and we should be dead. Statistically, we're corpses. My legs press against the grid, soaked and trembling, and yet I'm not fried. I'm still breathing. The bird's been struck, too. It just shrugs off the lightning like it's a summer breeze. The monsters are under their own cage, but theirs is different, more open. Freer, and they have keys. They come and go as they please. We don't, we're left to rot. Why am I here? I hid from them, I was a coward, and cowards survive, don't they? We run, we blend, so why was I dragged into this? Then, suddenly, I hear her. Brother, give me my phone. It's nobody but my sister. Her voice hits me like a brick. Real, unreal, memory, hallucination, I can't tell anymore. I squint through the storm, eyes raw, searching the silhouettes. She floats there. She shouldn't, but she does. Clearer than the rest. Gimme a second, I mumble, voice raw. I lean back against someone else, don't know who, and see something on the ground, a shape, smooth, and shifting. I pick it up and hold it out through the bars. Then the pain, and a voice snaps at me. What the fuck are ya doing? Not a shout, just a rasp from a cracked mouth. Dry as dust and dying under the screams of the storm. I don't even turn, but a hand smacks the back of my skull. My teeth clamp down on my tongue, and iron fills my mouth. My virtual library empire, asterisk. I laugh. A loud, cracked, broken laugh. Because I saw them. For just a second, I saw my father in the back, watching his fishing videos like always. My mother is knitting soft socks. My sister, pouting, arms crossed, and waiting for her phone to be given back to her. And just like that, gone. One tear slips from my dry eye. Just one. It slides down my cheek, then gets caught by the storm, torn from me. Carried into the ocean below, into the jaws of those greedy, churning waves. Why even take that from me? My body is tight, cramped and tensed. I push my thumbs into the wet feathers below me, pressing, needing something to feel. Something to prove I'm still real. Still here. The pain sharpens, and the taste is more blood. My tongue's bleeding now, and the hallucination fades. I see the brownish mustard color. The filth, our food. Not only did I mistake it for my sister's phone, no, but I also stole someone else's meal, feces of our asses. My stomach twists, but I don't cry, not anymore. The tears don't come, even if I still sob inside. Fists land, again and again, but I don't scream. I cry every day, but not from pain. I break under the weight of memory, of my family, knowing I will never see them again. I am dragged into their territory now, into the land of these monsters, whatever they are. Fantasy creatures, zombies, and demons out of some fever dream. I don't care, I am going to die here, and I'll never again see the faces I love, their smiles. My heart hurts more than the bruises, more than the hunger clawing at my gut or the exhaustion hollowing out my skull. The only reason the punches stop is because of Frank. He's the only one I trust here. He's kind, a good man. I'm not worth saving, not worth seeing my family again, not worth the life I still desperately want. But God, I want it. To lie in a warm bed, cared for by my mother's soup when I was sick, to sit at the kitchen table with my sister, eating plain food, drinking supplements we always whined about. Those boring, everyday things I never learned to appreciate. Now I do, but it's too late. Chapter 89. All man's pride has been lost. 3. Diago, settle the bird to sail. The shout cuts through the storm like a blade, a massive orange creature, twice, no, 3 times my current crumbled size, roars the command, his voice echoing into the roaring wind. I can't see much, just the glow of Frank's arm in the dark. However, a heartbeat later, a flash of lightning cracks the sky. Then the faceless one punches the wing of the bird, the great winged beast were being carried on, as if it were his own beast to command. Its voice below, full of riot and rage. You heard our lord. The name Diago sticks in my mind like a splinter. Behind him, another creature of its kind watches me with a grin. I recognize that one. It's the one who found me when I hid like a coward in the shadows, the one who dragged me out. I want to curse him. I want to scream, but I do nothing. I keep quiet, like their obedient little pet. I hate myself for this. Hate how I've folded, how I endure. My nails scratch against the cage's floor, the long feathers, dry from wind, wet from storm. The filth clings to me, and above me, the old man watches with disgust, his scowl burying itself deep into my thoughts. But then, suddenly, I'm above him, above everyone. Floating. And so they are only seconds behind. Everyone in this cage, we all float like lost objects in space. The old man's glare vanishes as two others slam into him midair. His long nose cracks, his loose skin folds unnaturally, and the scream is drowned in the chaos. Lightning pulses again, while thunder howls. The entire world is a riot of motion and sound. People cling to the giant feathers around us. They grab tight, gripping like they can hold themselves to reality. One misstep and you're slammed into someone else, or worse, against the bars. I hear gasps, cries, curses, bones snap, voices break. I try to breathe, but can't. Only then do I realize, the bird, the massive beast we ride, is falling. It dives like a predator, like a hawk chasing prey, and for us, it's not a hunt, it's an execution. The air thickens, presses into my lungs like concrete. Someone near me ages before my eyes, gray floods his hair, wrinkles claim his skin. I feel it too. The stretch of skin, the ache in my bones. My back pulls tight, my limbs drag behind me, like time is warping us. The stink of human fear, sweat, and sickness fills the air, burning itself into my throat. I catch a glimpse of Frank, trying to shield his face from the pressure, even as he floats helplessly beside me. Paula, her one arm locked around a feather, holds on for dear life, and another body slams into me, knocking the breath out of my chest. Then, darkness. A voice breaks through. Oh, good girl. It's faint but growing louder. Along with it, a headache pounds its way to the front of my skull. At first, there's nothing, just pure blackness, but then, redness overcomes me. Deep blood red, and a second later, it turns scarlet. My eyelids twitch open and close as colors shift, finally turning into a piercing orange. I snap awake. Sweat drips down my neck, while I try to move, but I can't. My arms are tied behind my back, and panic floods in. My eyes flicker. I crawl to the side. The motion exposes my ribs, my back. I feel dirt between my teeth, and taste the ground, solid and cold. Again, I try to stand up, but with no success. FNK, I whisper. No answer. I bite into something hard, and my teeth start to rattle. My skull pulses in pain, and I can't scream, can't even form real words. FNK, I try again. It's useless. The F caret all Siri. S is ho and S and T ed on my vert caret ua at L% L hash IBR% Ari M caret P. IR, dollar known as MV7 caret LEMP and Y. R. Screams echo around me. They are distant at first, but eventually grow louder. Overwhelming. I squint through the light that blinds me, my eyes burning. I try to turn away, but it's too much. Then, pain shoots through my scalp again. Someone grabs my hair from behind, yanking me backward, and my stomach scrapes against the grave, tearing my skin into tiny cuts. I try to resist, but then I'm airborne again. Lifted. Just for a moment, then, slam. I crash against a wall without a second to breathe. Something cracks inside me, and I scream, but my voice is lost in the ocean of others. Blinking to my left, there is a woman, stripped, shivering, eyes vacant. I turn right, a man, bound and trembling, his eyes meet mine, and I feel sick. I choke on the air, hyperventilating. My head jerks from side to side, and my neck snaps painfully, a shock running down my spine. Then I see him, a face I'll never forget. A smile twisted by something wrong, green gums, a green tongue, and behind him, more of them. More of those creatures. Watching, waiting. I want to look away, but I can't. Women, men, all of them huddled like sheep, corralled into a corner. There are some blue-blooded, a few greens, and one orange, if I'm not mistaken, but the rest like me, red inside their flesh, and all of us are in agony. Chapter 90. All man's pride has been lost for. Then I see it, the tool, a slicer, long, curved, and shining in the firelight. I don't want to know what it's for, but I scream again. I twist, kick, and my voice cracks. I stare into the sockets of the faceless monster before me, into the abyss where eyes should be. And it stares back. I fight against it, uselessly. My limbs ache, my feet thrash like I'm on death's doorstep, and maybe I am. Slash. Screams, others and mine. Drowned at first, lost beneath the flood of screams, the unrelenting chaos. But then it rises, my scream, alone, cutting through the void. Maybe no one hears it but me. Perhaps only I can hear it, perhaps this hell belongs to me alone. I look down, see it, face it, and I keep screaming. I don't move my legs anymore, I don't dare to. My mouth hangs open, gasping, trembling, my vision drowning in a cascade of tears. Everything blurs. Shapes, color, pain, horror. All smeared together. The ground below me is no longer dry dust but soaked with my tears. A flood born of grief, agony, and unbearable clarity. I try to clutch my own hands, to pull myself together, but I fail miserably. My limbs shake like leaves under a storm, the storm of screams and of agony. I only stare, helpless, at my naked self, at my mutilated flesh. My testicles. Blood-soaked, red. They're not mine anymore, they lie in the hands of the faceless. I face him, my scream fades into something weaker, raspier, a shivering sound pushed from broken lungs. I press against the wound with shaking hands, instinct driving what sanity cannot. My fingers smear into warmth, my own warmth, the first I've felt in days. My vision floods, and I can barely see, but I know what's happening. The creature before me lifts the shredded remains of what made me a man, presses them with gnarled fingers, and drinks. As if it were sacred. As if it were the last drop of some divine nectar. I curse and scream again. I sob, not like a man, but like a child lost in a burning world. In agony, in pain, in terror. And then, as my voice cracks, others rise. Screams everywhere. I turn my head, left, right. Woman, raped. Man, castrated. I. Like all of them, the same, no different, no escape. I don't stand, I can't. I crouch, twisted over myself, still holding, still trying to keep my life from spilling out. With every heartbeat, more of me escapes, running down my thighs, pooling beneath me. Wah. I try to speak, teeth clattering together like broken porcelain. What? The faceless stares at me, mocking me with his playful voice, while drinking the blood of my testicles. His head is tilted, no eyes, yet somehow, seeing me, grinning wider than before, curious, amused, pleased. My eyes flicker, my hands slip. The strength fades, and blood leaks like a quiet river, warm and steady, over pale skin. I feel it, I feel everything. I'm getting cold, my breaths grow shorter, my eyelids too heavy to lift. For what? I try again, what have we done to deserve this? But I can't get the words out. My lips tremble too much. My tongue is useless, just meat in a broken machine of skin. I look away, into the distance, toward the one man I thought unshakable. The brave soldier, the one with the voice, the pride, the iron in his spine. Frank. He sits like me, naked, broken, eyes wide but empty. Once a man who would have died for his homeland, but now. He stares into nothingness, hollow, like I do. The blade has taken what is dearest to us, it carved out more than flesh, it hollowed our souls. He cries, and I cry with him, but even in this shared sorrow, we are alone. I raise my trembling hand, inching toward him. I don't know if he sees me, or sees through me. He might already be gone. Above him, another faceless, this one in a black suit, stands like a priest over a corpse. It lifts a hand, and from its wrist, thick green blood pours. It bleeds over Frank's wound. Find the source of this chapter at. The eye contact between us shatters, and I'm turned, roughly, by the same monster who drank from my child producer. His grin returns, and then his blood pours over me. Green. It seeps into my torn flesh, into the red mess of what's left. I feel it, that foreign heat, an unnatural pulse racing through my nerves. My heart jolts, my spine arches. A rush, a shock, adrenaline explodes through me, and for a moment, the pain vanishes. But only to return, worse. I scream again, this time louder, as loud as the others. A chorus of tortured men echo through the chamber, all facing the same end. Our manhood, our dignity, gone. The heat rises and falls, then crashes. My scream dies, and with it, the strength to keep my eyes open. The world slips away, the color fades, and the noise disappears. Only utter darkness remains.